afternoon. Today we're featuring a special interview on MRIs with Brevin and Sabrina. Before we begin, we want to give you some background information about MRIs. I'm going to hand it off to Stephanie now.
The first thing you should know about an MRI is that it stands for magnetic resonance imaging. In an MRI, there's something called a radiofrequency energy that is transmitted by a radiofrequency coil. The electric current is constantly changing the magnetic and electric fields which travel through loops of wires. These wires are immersed in liquid helium and have large currents to produce a strong magnetic field. The positively charged hydrogen atoms in our bodies spin on their axis, acting as a tiny magnets, meaning that they have a north and south pole. Hopefully this helps you understand the basics of an MRI. Okay.
This is an MRI machine. It's very small inside, as you can see, and you go in that hole and it takes your MRI. This is some images taken by an MRI of the person's spine and of a hand. And this is the different components of an MRI machine, such as the magnet. And this is the magnetic field of an MRI.
I'm Brevin Such, and this is Sabrina. What is the purpose of an MRI?
The purpose of an MRI is to be able to show different soft tissue anatomy, basically, of a patient. When we have x-rays which show bones primarily, but MRI focuses on soft tissue.
How does it work, and what are the different types of waves used?
So the basic way that it works is that our bodies are made up of 70% water, and so water has protons, and putting a person into a magnetic field and then applying radio waves to that magnetic field, which the magnetic field aligns the protons, the water protons, and then applying that those radio waves causes the protons to relax at different speeds. So that's how we can see the differences in the soft tissue, is because water molecules that are in fat will relax at a different rate than water molecules that are in bone or any other kind of soft tissue.
Are there any health risks associated with the procedure?
The health risks would be anybody that has any kind of implanted devices, because those can become dislodged by the magnet. It's a very powerful magnet. Here we have both 1.5 Tesla and 3 Tesla magnets, so they're very strong magnets. I'm sure that you've seen on the news, things like wheelchairs and oxygen tanks and stuff can just be pulled right into the magnet. So those would be the health risks associated with it. Sometimes we do use contrast. It's a gadolinium contrast, so it's there is a risk associated with getting an IV and then injecting contrast. That a person might be allergic to that.
How long does the procedure take?
Depending on what it is that you're getting scanned, it can take 20 minutes to an hour, because we scan anywhere from the brain all through the body. So it just depends on how many areas are being scanned and things like that. But generally about a half hour. Mm-hmm.
Are there limitations as to who can get an MRI?
Well, kind of like what I said before, with pacemakers or stents or any kind of brain surgeries, things like that, those implants need to be proven to be MRI safe. But generally anybody that has a pacemaker can't do it. So,
is there special equipment the person has to wear?
For the patient, you mean, in the MRI machine? No, usually we just, we do have coils that kind of concentrate the radio waves and electromagnetic frequencies. So, if you were getting an MRI scan of your brain, we would have this kind of like a helmet that goes over, that would go over your head. But there's different coils that are specific to different body parts that would be placed on or around the patient's body. So,
Are there limitations to what an MRI can detect in the body?
MRI is not very good for detecting bone. That's going to be more X-rays, CT scans for bone things. But soft tissue is excellent for any kind of detection and changes and things like that.
Is there any pain involved?
No, the pain that would be involved, a lot of people are claustrophobic. It's a very small, small bore that the patient needs to be in. So there are open scanners that's open on each end and around. So that helps with that. You do have to hold very still for that whole, 30 minutes or however long the scan is. So if you already have back pain or knee pain or things like that, to hold still for that long is it is uncomfortable. Most people, we give earplugs and earmuffs because the radio frequencies are so loud. It's like a jackhammer. So that's I guess kind of maybe the pain that would be involved in that.
How is a magnetic field used in an MRI?
It aligns the protons in the body. So it brings all of your protons to one level field basically, and then applying those radio frequencies to it is what gives it the relaxation, and that puts off a signal, and that's what our scanner detects, is that signal that's put off by the protons relaxing.
What is it like to be inside an MRI machine?
Well, if you're not claustrophobic, it's really kind of a cozy place. You can take a nap in there. It's, like I said, it's really loud. And it's, there's only a few inches of space that's around your body. So it's pretty tight in there, and it's very loud, but otherwise it's pretty comfortable if you don't mind taking a nap in a tight space.